equation we were looking at the chemical reversibility, and then we started with some situations. We discussed about the equilibrium and non-equilibrium situation, and we discussed that how these situations look like on a Morse potential curve. Okay, so we saw the Morse potential curve on which these situations are actually given in terms of energy. We saw that what is the activation energy for a forward reaction and what is the activation energy for a backward reaction, and then the standard activation energy. Similarly, we had look over the potential and the formal potential of the electrode. So just to remind you, potential mean the potential that we applied to change an equilibrium situation to a non-equilibrium situation. Then later on we discussed few things that how we can derive a relation for net current, and that is also in terms of the surface concentrations of the oxidized species and surface concentration of the reduced species. So we also saw that, and we saw that how these things are when we have an equilibrium situation or a non-equilibrium situation. So we saw that the net current is zero when we have an equilibrium situation, and similarly the surface concentration for the oxidized species and the reduced species is same. Now you have to remember that while we are discussing these things, we are actually talking about the electrode solution interface. And for the electrode solution interface, what we are looking for is that the reaction which is taking place, which is the oxidized species taking up electron being converted into the reduced species. So we discussed that quite in detail, and we also saw that how the normal reactions which are taking place, that is the conversion of the oxidized species into the reduced species in terms of equilibrium, or just simply a reaction of oxidized species into reduced species. If the conversion is taking place, then how that is different from the reaction that you have. So we will continue with that. We will move forward with what we already have, and we know that there were certain things that we discussed, and after that we came up to a conclusion that we derived an. So anyway, we wrote an equation, and the equation was this equation, which was for the net current, and we know that for net current the equation, if we put the values of currents, then the equation, probably this was equation number 21. Now in this equation, this is known as Eyring equation. Now this Eyring equation over here give you a complete behavior, because it is telling you about the reaction taking place at the rate of what? At the rate of cathode as well as at the rate of anode, that is both of the reaction. It is giving you the complete information that what is the net balance of the reaction and where the current is going to flow. So I guess that all of you agree with that. So this is the Eyring equation. Net current is depending on certain terms that we made an effort. It is depending on this constant, which you know that what constant it is. It is the standard heterogeneous rate constant, and then you have this surface concentration of the oxidized species, and then you have these potentials over here, and similarly is the case over here, and then you also have this constant which is quite important. So you have the potentials, you have the surface concentration, and you have the standard heterogeneous constant present in this equation, and It means that it gives you the dependability or the dependence of this net current on all these factors. Okay, so it also show you that you have both these terms present, one for the cathode and one for the anode. We can say that the net current depends on both the potential and the surface concentration of each form of the couple which is present. So now let us take an example where the situation of the reduced species, that is R, is very high, and we have a positive potential. So it means large positive potential, and this also implies that we have large anodic current. Now at equilibrium, we already know that at equilibrium I net is equal to क्या होगा, किसके बराबर होगा ये? Net
Zero
current
के
will be
साथ
equal,
equilibrium zero.
so it will be zero. So since it will be zero, so if we look at this equation over here, अगर आप इस equation को देखें जो यहाँ पर है, so if this term is equal to 0, then we can write, because I net is equal to 0. Similarly, if we resolve it, we can also write that, and if we further resolve it, and for that, let's say that taking natural log on both sides of equation, we will get whole divided by R2. ठीक है? So we can also rearrange this in the form NF over RT. So this is how it look like. Now this is basically, if you rearrange it, it can also be the same equation can be written in the form और मज़ीद rearrange कर लें, so we can write it like this. Now remember that this equation which we have derived over here, this is representing the Nernst equation, and this equation is valid only for equilibrium conditions. If the condition is not equilibrium condition, that is, it means that I net is equal to 0, then this equation will not be valid. It is only valid if you have equilibrium condition. So the thing is that most of the time we are not looking at equilibrium conditions. So to attain the equilibrium condition, we must meet certain approximations. So for example, one way could be that the rates of the reaction are very fast, and they are fast such that the surface equilibrium is established at a fast pace. So although it is a non-equilibrium situation, but it looked like if the surface equilibrium is achieved at such a fast pace that you never know that there was a non-equilibrium situation, yet you know that it was non-equilibrium. But again, this equation is valid only when you have an equilibrium condition, that is when the I net is equal to 0. Otherwise, this equation will not hold. So many of the techniques with which we deal is actually the techniques which are dealing with non-equilibrium situations. They are not dealing with equilibrium situations. So it means that we would need some improvement over what we are currently doing. So for that kind of situation, one case that we observe is of a very interesting and popular equation, which is Butler-Volmer equation, which is actually again a special case. So one special case was when you saw that what happens if there is an equilibrium. Now we have a situation where we will use these three equations that we already have. For example, if the previous equations that we have derived, there were three equations. There is an equation we just derived, which is the Nernst equation, and then there were equations for the forward current and for the backward current. So backward current density, I guess. So forward current density and backward current density. So the current equation that we have here is one is the Nernst equation that you just had, and then another equation that we previously had in the last lecture was this one, which is IF is equal to these two equations. Let's say अगर हम कह लें in terms of this particular thing that we are doing now, so we can say that, let's say this is our equation number 1, and these ones are the equation number 2 and 3. So if we use the equation number 1, then we can also write in fact that ये आपकी formal potential के लिए आ जाएगी. Formal potential will be equal to the equilibrium potential minus RT over NF4. Now if we use using equation 2 and 4, तो जब इसको आप वो करेंगे, रिजॉल्व करेंगे, you will get, now this can further be resolved into, if you further resolve it, it will give you divided by RT. So this is our equation number 5. Now similarly, before we go into the other equation, we need to know that here the term E equilibrium minus E is equal to eta, which is called overpotential. I guess we already know that what is an overpotential. So do you remember that what is overpotential? Did we talk about that?
सर पोटेंशियल को इंक्रीज करना, जितनी लिमिट है उससे ज़्यादा देना.
नहीं, इस तरह से नहीं है. थोड़ा सा आप just think about that what could it mean? Overpotential basically means the potential at which because the potential is always applied. Do you remember that we talk about the zero current at potential? क्या चीज थी वो एक? We talked about something like zero current. Do you people remember that? So we said that
dielectric constant solvent के केस में था कि जीरो करंट मतलब बहुत कम पोटेंशियल पे फ्लो करता है.
Zero current means that the potential is applied, but the current doesn't flow. Okay, when you continue to increase the potential, a point will come when the current will start to flow. ठीक है? So basically, that potential at which the Faradic process start to happen is the overpotential. Okay. So before that you just applied a potential, but now you have a net potential which is driving the current. So you can see that you have an equilibrium potential, and then you have an applied potential which is driving the process into a certain direction. Because yesterday, I mean in the last lecture, we talked about that when we apply the potential, we move the process from equilibrium to a non-equilibrium state. Okay, so this is what we are talking about here, that overpotential is that potential which will move that process. So here we have this overpotential defined, and the overpotential appeared in this equation. Now similarly we can write, similarly for IB we have NFKSH CO1 minus alpha into CR1 minus alpha NF eta over RT, which is equation number 6. So if we have a situation, let us consider a situation in which we say that we are looking at equilibrium. So we say that at equilibrium we already know that I net is equal to 0. Apart from that, we say that E is equal to E equilibrium. This implies that the over potential will be equal to 0. Okay? So this is quite logical that the over potential should be 0 at such a situation. So if we agree with that, then we say that let us define that what happens to the forward and the backward current densities at equilibrium. So we say that similarly we say that IF equilibrium is equal to IB equilibrium, which is equal to IO equilibrium, which is equal to NF KSH alphas, which is equation number 7. So if अब ये आप देख लें इसको कि this eta is equal to 0, basically this is driving these terms. ठीक है, तो उसमें आपके पास ये बात जाता है. If we are looking at non-equilibrium situation, let's say that we are looking at non-equilibrium situation, then for non-equilibrium situation we have a different thing. We say that for non-equilibrium, so this was at equilibrium, now we are looking at non-equilibrium. So for non-equilibrium we have E is not equal to E equilibrium. So this is non-equilibrium. It means that I net is equal to, so what does it mean? It means that the net current will be equal to N. So the net current will be, which will be equation number 8. Now if we have a case where the over potentials are small, so if over potentials are small, it means that for that kind of situation we say that eta is smaller than 8 millivolts per electron, so number of electron or number of moles of electron. So we can use an approximation which is probably Maclaurin series, which says that for that kind of small values you have the exponential e raised to power minus x approximated to 1 minus x. That is for small values of x. So you can see in the equation above that here we also have the same sort of exponentials present. Now it depends that which one you are taking, but for small values of x, so here you should also see that this is a constant, and if you fix the temperature, then the temperature is also constant. The only thing which is varying will be eta. So for that kind of situation, if you have this eta smaller than 8 millivolts, then you are looking at the small values of x, and you can approximate it 1 minus x. In other words, you can write the equation number 8 in a linear form, and we can say that the net current I net can be approximated to an equation. You also need to, this is equation number 9. So you also need to note that in this equation we have a small f, while in previous equations we were having a capital F. So here we made an approximation because in the equations above you can note that that this term for example, this term over here is also a constant. Okay, so you can vary the other things if you want, but this is also a constant. This can be taken as a separate constant. Similarly, it is present over here. So let's say that if we, for making it a bit easier, if we define that as f, या जो भी small f, then we have this equation over here. Okay. Now this can also be written as I net is equal to I naught n, and in this equation over here we see that the current is directly proportional to over potential if the other three are the constants. So the current is directly proportional to the over potential, and this equation over here that we are looking at is of a certain shape. This is of the shape of y is equal to mx. So it means that if we are plotting, then we are looking at a certain result. I also plotted that in the class, but just if possible, I will just plot it again. Okay, so we can plot it. So okay, so what we see that let us imagine that this line is passing over here, and we have plotted this current versus over potential. So if we plot current versus over potential using this equation, then what we see is that this line is passing through the origin. So we can say that here the current is directly proportional to over potential, and the line over here is passing through the origin, which means that the current, this figure, the current intercept is, which is also clear from the shape of the equation, because if there was to be an intercept, then you would have looked at an equation which looked like this, but there is nothing like that. You just have y is equal to mx, which means that the intercept of the equation is 0, which means that the current intercept is 0. Now we also see that near the equilibrium potential, an electrochemical reaction gives a linear current versus potential plot, and we also note that slope is present, and the slope of line is equal to I naught n f, and you can see that from here you can measure certain values, because this is constant, this is also known, then you can measure this value from the slope of this line. So this is the case of when the over potential is small. So the over potential is small, then this is the situation, and it also gives us some more information, some important information about certain important concepts or values. Now we also know that according to Ohm's law, we have I is equal to E over R. So here E is the potential. वैसे generally what we see in the books, it is like V is equal to IR. तो यहाँ पर it is E is equal to IR. ठीक है? So from there you see this, that I is equal to E over R. Now if we take the analogy with this law, so we say that by analogy with this law, the slope of the plot which we saw over here, that is the I naught NF, it is called, this thing over here is called transfer admittance. And if you take inverse of transfer admittance, then you get a very important parameter which is called impedance. It is called what? This is called impedance. So here you have some very important concepts coming through. One is the transfer admittance, the other is the impedance, and this impedance is also sometimes termed as the Faradic resistance. From these values, we get some information. For example, we know that if we have higher admittance, then we are looking at fast heterogeneous electron transfer. And the converse is, again, if you are looking at low admittance, you are looking at slower heterogeneous electron transfer rates. So it gives us some information about the reactions, heterogeneous reactions that are taking place. Now let us move to the third case, which is the limiting case of the large overpotentials. Now, in this case, we are looking at eta value, those eta values which are greater than 120 millivolts. Okay. So per number of moles of electrons. So we are talking about the rate of one of the part of the reactions which is coming negligible when compared to the other ones, because we already know that there are two parts when we are looking at the rate of the reaction. One is the anodic part and the other is the cathodic part. So when you have this type of overpotential, then you are talking about a situation where one of the rate is becoming negligible. So what does it mean? It means that the net current will be depending either on one or on the other, and this gives us a very important equation. So did I number the earlier equations or not, by the way? 9 हो गई, इसके बाद फिर 10 कौन सी थी? ओके, इसको हम 10 कर लेते हैं. This is 10 and let's move forward. So if we are looking at this, so let us consider that one of the part is becoming negligible, then we say that the net current will be equal to e raised to power minus alpha nf eta. This will be 11. That is, you have ignored one part, or by taking natural log, we can write, which is equation number 12, and this equation is called, the equation over here is called Tafel equation. Okay, which is again quite an important equation. Now, if we take the derivative of this equation, that is d with respect to overpotential, then d over d eta will be the derivative, first derivative with respect to overpotential, log of I net, then this will be equal to d over d eta. अब इसमें भी आपके पास, इसको मैं ऐसे भी लिख सकता हूँ, मैंने जल्दी कर ली, that alpha nf d over d eta. Okay, so if we write it like this, so there are certain things that you can clearly see. एक तो ये है, this is constant with respect to our potential, so this will go to 0, and this one over here is constant, so it is outside, but with respect to this it will become 1. So what you are left with is d over d eta log of is equal to minus alpha and f. ये आपके पास जो है वो इस तरीके से आ जाएगा. ये थोड़ा notation I am changing that sometimes, so just keep in mind that what does it mean, because I am telling you in time that what What does it mean? So now you have this equation over here. This is the first derivative, and what we see is that if we have large amplitudes, then the current is logarithmically related to over potential, and this can be seen in the figure that I will just show you. Let me get that figure for you first. Okay, this is here. So now here is the picture. You can. So are we back? Yes, we are back. So again, now you can see that here we have a TEFL region and we have an ohmic region over here. That is this is the plot between the current and the over potential. And you can see that if you extrapolate the TEFL region, which is a straight line, if you extrapolate it, then you get this log of I naught, and if you take the anti-log, you will get the I naught value. Similarly, you also get an ohmic region if you plot it. So this is as long as it fit to the equation, and after that the region change, you get an ohmic effect in the plot. Now, if you have the TEFL plots, you can get certain value from it. One is the exchange current, and then from exchange current you have another thing, that is you can measure the transfer coefficient. So you can measure from this plot the exchange current, and then you can also basically by using this exchange current into the equation that you have over here somewhere over here. So like in this equation, so if you put the values, you can get this value of the transfer coefficient. So it means that these plots are quite useful and give you certain values. That is the exchange current, and from exchange current, by putting into the equation, you can get the value of the transfer coefficient. So now we already know that we have an Eyring equation. So what was the Eyring equation? उसमें क्या था? स्टार्ट में थी ना Eyring equation, भूल गए आप लोग?
नो सर, वो याद है, वर्ड याद है सर.
हाँ, तो Eyring equation में क्या था?
Iron depends on both potential and surface concentration. Reaction take place cathode and anode without.
Yes, we have both the cathodes and anodes over there. So it means that if we plot net current in terms of Eyring equation, then we have sum of two opposing exponential branches. That is, if we use these terms that we have just derived, if we derive that in term of that, so the way it look like is quite different. It will give us a different type of curve. I will just show you, hopefully that it will copy to this place. Yeah. So you see that here we have certain different situation. One is that we have this. So you see, this is going like this, and then it is going like this. Now this curve over here is the cathodic. It is coming from the cathodic exponential branch, and this one is coming from the anodic exponential branch. And the one which is in the mid, it is giving us the net current. So what we note is that net current is passing through the origin. Okay, it is passing through the origin. It means that what will be the potential at the origin?
Zero.
Okay, so it is passing through there, and from this equation we are getting the over potential for the anodic process. We are getting the over potential for the cathodic process, and then we are looking at the behavior of the net current. So we are also looking at a situation where we can get the behavior of the cathodic and the anodic processes. Okay? So up to this point, if you have any questions, you can ask, and then I'm going to put you on something for the rest of the time. Any questions? कोई सवाल है यहाँ तक?
Yes sir. सर हमेशा हम नॉन इक्विलिब्रियम कंडीशंस को क्यों फॉलो करते हैं, यूज करते हैं?
क्योंकि जब इक्विलिब्रियम कंडीशन हो, if you are looking at the equilibrium condition, then basically you are not driving any process. ठीक है? Because the product will be either the oxidized species that you want, or you will want an reduced species. You are not looking for the equilibrium process, because in equilibrium nothing is happening. Okay, so that's why you always drive it to one side of the reaction or to the other side of the reaction. This is the reason for that.